welcome to Homemaking 101. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make Thanksgiving royal icing cookies. For the recipe for the cookie dough and the icing, please see my previous video in royal icing cookies part 1 and part 2. So let's go ahead and get started. Right, so we are doing some Thanksgiving cookies today. These are our royal icing cookies. So I'm just going ahead with my brown and doing the stem of my pumpkin. So we have pumpkins, we have little pilgrim people, I have pilgrim hats, and I'm also doing a turkey. So I made my icing a consistency to pipe and to flood at the same time, just to save time since I have a lot of cookies. So what I do is just outline my stem here, and then go ahead and fill it in. And make sure it's completely full. And I'm just going to take my toothpick and go ahead and spread it all around. Make sure it's covering every spot and try to get all the lumps out of it. So we're just going to continue with that. I'm going to go ahead and do all my brown on my pumpkins. For our little pilgrim people, I'm going to do brown outfits instead of black, because black food coloring tastes terrible. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a brown hat. So we're just going to outline his hat. And then we're going to go ahead and fill it in here as well. Because honestly, you can do brown or black because it's both pilgrim outfit colors. I'm going to do some of these as men and some as women. I didn't have a pilgrim lady cutter, but I'm just going to go ahead and use my little pilgrim man cutter and make the coat into a dress. And then instead of a tall hat, I'm going to go ahead and make a white bonnet. Right, so we went ahead and did his hat. Now I'm going to go ahead and do his coat. So for his coat, we want to leave room for his pants to come up, and we want his pants to be a different color. We don't want his outfit to be all the same color. So I'm going to go ahead and just go around his neck and out and around his shoulders. And then down across here. And I'm going to bring it back up and then down. Leave room for his pants to come up. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and fill this in as well. So just do a small section at a time because your icing will start to harden, and you don't want it to harden on you and be all smeary looking. I'm going to do a little section, take my toothpick, come over, smooth it out a little bit here. For the big sections, I honestly prefer to have a floodable consistency, just so it doesn't harden on you. But like I said, I want to save time and just get it all done at one time, because I have a lot to do. Go ahead and get as much in here as possible. Doesn't need to look perfect as you're doing this, just so long as when you smooth it out, it looks good. Alright, so go ahead and smooth this out here. And we are going to be putting stuff over top of it, so it really doesn't matter a whole lot. You still want it to look really nice and smooth though. Going to come down here. Okay, so we're just going to continue this down throughout his whole body. Alright, so for our turkey, this is what our turkey looks like. So I'm not going to do the tail feathers because I'm going to do those multiple colors. And we're going to leave a little spot for the beak too. So we're going to go ahead, pipe around the beak, and then up over the head. Then I'm just gonna come around and do like a little circle or an oval around. Do not pipe the feet either, just go straight across. And then back up, because the feet we are going to make orange. So just like that. So those are our turkeys. And then for our hats, our little hats, we're just gonna pipe the whole way around it. Just for these, we're gonna fill them all in one color. And then we will go ahead, once our flooded icing is dry, we'll go ahead and decorate on top then. Just gonna go around the brim of the hat here. Alright, and then connect it back up. Okay, just like that. Alright, so for our turkey, I have done part of it. So I'm going to show you how to do the feathers, and we're going to do yellow for the next spaces. So we're going to get our yellow royal icing. Now I did make this icing a consistency of where I can pipe an outside border and go ahead and fill in as well. If you have smaller spots, this is easier to do. With my larger spots, I prefer to outline and then go back and fill, only because it tends to get kind of lumpy otherwise. But small spaces, this works great. So we're gonna go ahead and do both sections here. So we're just outlining, and then we're gonna come back in and fill in. And as you fill in, you can either use your tip, or you can use a toothpick. I normally just use my tip, and I just wipe it off then. It's a little easier. And then for our white polka dots, we have a runny white royal icing. So I'm just gonna take my toothpick and get a blob on here and go ahead and just gently press down. You can only get 2 to 3 dots out of each one of your toothpicks. It just depends on how big your drop is on it. You don't want it to be too big because then your dot is gonna be huge. So I'm just gonna put a couple polka dots on here. And doing this while it's wet, it's gonna go down in and give it that nice look, because for this, we don't really want it to stand up. So we went ahead and did all of our turkey feathers. So we're gonna set him up here to dry and continue with all the rest. All right, so we're gonna continue decorating our cookies here. So here's what we have done so far with our turkey. So we're gonna go ahead and take our brown icing bag, and we're gonna put a wing on our turkey. So we're just gonna come down and around and do 2 little loops and then back up. I'll pick up the cookie here and show you. So just like that, just a very simple wing. And then I'm gonna take my black icing. Now for my black icing, I just use just a regular black icing. I don't use the royal icing in the black because black food coloring tastes terrible. So I just add a little bit of meringue powder to my regular black icing. I normally just buy a small tube at the store just because of the food coloring taste. And then add a little bit of meringue powder, and then this will harden. So we're gonna go ahead and give him a little eye. Okay, so here is our turkey, and he is all done. And then for our little pilgrim people, so we have our little girl here. We're gonna finish her. So first we're gonna take our white. We're gonna just add a little design to her hat. Just a little swirly at the top. And then we're gonna outline her collar. And I'll pick this cookie up and show you guys in just a second. Okay, so we did her hat and we outlined her collar. So next we're gonna go ahead and outline her little apron. And we're also gonna add a little pocket to her apron too, just to give it a little more texture. Okay, so there's her apron outlined. Next, we're going to do a little pocket on the front here. It's going to draw a rectangle and then go ahead and fill that in. Okay, so there we have all of our white done on her. So now we're going to change colors, and we're going to come over here and we're going to grab our red, because we're going to do her sleeves. So I'm just going to start up here at her shoulder and come down around to make her sleeve of her arm. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so there's her sleeve, and then both sleeves are actually finished here. Pick this up here. So we just drew some lines for sleeves, and then I'm going to take my black and we're going to give her 2 eyes. And just a little tiny smile. Okay. And then also put 2 little dots on her shoes as well to look like buttons. This helps give her feet a little bit more. So this is our finished pilgrim girl. So I'll pick her up here. So if you can see her here, she is all finished. So we're going to go ahead and grab our little pilgrim man and finish him as well. So the men are a little bit harder for the mouth because they have a beard. But here's our little men so far. So I'm going to go ahead and take our white. So we're going to outline on him too. Take our white, outline his beard and his collar. And next is his collar here. Okay, that just gives it a little bit extra. So there we have his beard and his collar is outlined. So then we're gonna grab our black and we're gonna do his eyes and mouth. For these guys, you really don't have to give a mouth because they have a beard, but you can if you want, because I think it looks kind of funny without a mouth. And then just little buttons for his shoes again as well. Same as the little girl. Right, so there we have our little pilgrim man. So we're gonna put him up here and let him dry. We're gonna continue with the rest of our cookies. Once you finish all of them, make sure you let them dry completely before you stack them as well. Alright, so we went ahead and finished decorating all of our cookies. So here is our turkeys completely done, and our little pilgrim men and women. I also did some pumpkins. You can watch my previous video on how to make the pumpkins, and that will be under royal icing cookies part 1 and 2. And then here's also our little hats, and then the rest of the turkeys and the 1 pumpkin. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe below.